I fell in love with the sport. I started doing. I did 18 amateur boxing bouts in the States. I have 16 wins and 2 losses, and I have 14 amateur MMA bouts as well.
Okay.
And
well, what makes you switch from boxing to MMA?
Well, the thing is, I did not know what MMA is. And one of the guys at the gym used to do jiu-jitsu, and he told me, hey, you want to do an MMA fight? And I'm like, what is MMA?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, you want to give it a try? I was like, yeah, all right, cool. So my first MMA fight, I didn't know anything but how to throw a punch, because that was basically my reaction to everything. And I won by a knockout, surprisingly.
Wow.
And then after that, I lost my second fight, and I said, hey, if I'm going to start doing it, I better start doing it right. So I started doing a little bit of jiu-jitsu and a little bit of wrestling, and it went on.
Yeah, because it's a bit different when you're punching someone and all of a sudden someone kicks you and you're like, hold on a minute. Where did that come from?
That's illegal,
yeah,
man.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
Guys, welcome to another episode of Jibber with Jaber. Today, I'm going to introduce my guest. So, I'm going to introduce the middleweight champion of the world in Brave, Mo Fakhriddine. And before you answer, I'm going to introduce my guest again. The light heavyweight champ of the world, Brave, Mo Fakhriddine. Champ. Welcome to the podcast, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
I had to introduce you twice, bro, because it's only
it
fair,
sounded
right?
better, yeah. I was about to say, man, it's champ. It's,
yeah, right?
About the
exactly.
Man?
You're right.
Like,
we need to get a third belt there, right?
Soon, who knows?
Who knows, bro? Bro, let's talk about this last victory that you came on. To be honest, it was quite actually a funny thing. We'll talk about the prep and all that stuff, but I'll tell you my experience of it. One of the first times I argued with my wife in a long time.
Really?
Yeah, because she was asleep and I was already in bed and it was quite late. So I was like, I'm going to watch it in bed, right? And I was screaming, bro, screaming and shouting like a child who was so excited, bro. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm just like, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's my friend. He's fighting. I'm going to be there.
She cursed at me?
Bro, at least 5 times, bro. Because, you know, in that fight as well, there was some tense moments in the beginning, right? Yeah. So I was just like going through so many emotions. And she's looking at me like, could you not have just gone and done this in the living room? And I'm like, I don't have time to argue about this right now. I'm focused right on the fight.
Can you go to the bathroom?
Yeah, right?
Least? Yeah.
But what a fight it was, bro. What a fight it was.
A tough fight. It was.
It was, right?
Yeah.
And how much better does the taste when somebody's there before a digger, I believe, to quote the words, and you know, when someone's doing that trash talk before the fight.
Yeah, man, it sounds and tastes a lot sweeter than it normally does. Because all that trash talk and all that, like pushing me to a different level, made me train really hard. And he had it coming. He just didn't know what was coming. And March 11th, it was
a big fight.
Yeah,
great entrance as well. So look, let's go back to before that. What sparked this all off? Because I remember seeing a video of you after the first fight, and you were in the locker room, and you were pissed.
Yes.
Like, because we know first they gave him the win, and then after watching it again, they were like, no, he was cheating.
Yeah, well, the thing is, there was a lot of hits behind the head, and like during the fight, I was telling the ref, he's trying to hit me, like he's hitting me behind the head. At least it was like 3 or 4 times, and I tried to warn the ref at least 2 times, and then there was a big hammer fist that hit me like flush behind the back of the head, and that kind of dismantled me a little bit. Yeah. I couldn't move after that, and then like I was so telling the ref like behind the head, and the ref didn't do nothing about it. And then after the fight, like after I got back to my senses, I knew what happened. I was hella pissed. I ref came in, he's trying to apologize, and I fucking went off on him.
Yeah, because I remember you're watching the video and he's like, yeah, possibly, and you're like, what do you mean? Look, it's there. You just saw the footage.
Yeah, because he was trying to act cool, and then he was trying to tell me like, and the thing is, I know him like personally, I know him, and he's a good guy, but I don't know what was going on with his mind that night, and yeah, but I was trying to show him the fight, and then he kept telling me, yeah, possibly, and it could be, and I'm like, man,
Yeah.
what you mean possibly? And it could be. It's right there in front of you, man. And you saw it. And he's like, yeah, but I didn't see it in the fight. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He
so-
cost me like my, how
yeah,
many
man.
months of training and
It's 2
everything.
months of training, half of my money, and it's just and I could have gotten really badly hurt that night.
I mean, look, just for all the viewers out there, we just want to make one thing clear. We grew up as Arabs, so we're fine with getting hit at the back of the head, but by our mum or dad, and there's a difference. This is rules. There are
this
rules
is
here.
If there is rules, don't
Back at
disagree.
home, it's fine. We expect the hit in the back of the head. That's
yeah,
fine. It's coming, bro. Do you know what I mean?
You know it's coming.
We're raised on that.
Yeah, whether it's the shoes or
Yeah.
whatever it is, it's belt.
Yeah,
know,
right?
I
We're
get
getting
it.
licks. Yeah, we're raised that way. So how, I mean, obviously because you fight in Brave, right? I didn't know till recently that Makachev also fought in Brave, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I didn't
He
know
made
that.
his pro debut in Brave.
Yeah.
After the IMMAF, he made his pro debut in Brave, and then now he's in the
Yeah.
UFC.
So because of Brave, and Brave is a Kuwaiti Bahraini, sorry, Brave. That was just no one come for me, dude. Anyway, they can come for me. I got Mo with me. He's got 2 belts. What are you gonna do, bro? So because it's an Arab event, you tend to get a lot more Arab fighters in it than you would usually in the UFC or
No,
the other
actually,
things.
there's a lot of foreigners. There's a lot of Brazilians, a lot of Russians, and from all over the world. Actually, the Arab fighters are very few.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have thought there would be more because it's
Yeah, no. The thing is, there's a lot of foreigners. There's a lot of international fighters. And as an Arab fighter, you could probably maybe 10 or
Really?
20.
Do you feel like there's more at stake when you're fighting another Arab from a different country? Because us as Arabs, it's very personal, right?
Yeah, bro. Especially how bad it gets after the fight on social media.
Yeah.
Man, I'm still getting like pictures of
Yeah. Now,
dicks and asses and shit like in my DMs, like from people, from Algerian fans, and I'm like, yo, this has gotten a little bit too far.
you're not helping your case by sending me a picture of a dick, bro.
Yeah,
do you know
like,
what I
what
mean?
for, man? What am I gonna do with that picture, man?
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but,
they didn't take it very well. That's all,
No,
did they?
no. They sold to today. I got a couple of messages. People tell me, "You motherfucker, you cheated." I'm like, all right, cool. I just deleted.
But look, you did what was needed to be done. And with that build up, I mean, how personal were you taking it? Would you say this is one of the most personal fights that you've had when it comes to emotions involved?
Yeah, no doubt. Especially because after the first fight, when I got sick and then I couldn't make the fight, he made a picture of me sitting on a stool and me shitting on my name and my last name. And
Wow.
yeah, he I think right there he crossed the line with me, and yeah, he needed to pay for it.
I mean, he literally got fakhed up, bro. I think that's a new way. Like, you got fakhed up, you know?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Khalid's telling me something and he's scared to tell you because he thinks you're going to punch him in his face if he tells you. What are you telling me? Put the mic a bit closer. A bit closer. Put the mic a bit closer.
Sorry,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, he's going to fakhr you up, bro.
No.
I think you should make that your new thing,
I
bro.
should, right?
When someone gets knocked out, you got knocked the fakhr out. We can use that. So, okay. Training. I mean, we train in the same place.
Yeah.
So I've seen you train and I've seen you prep for this fight. What about this fight made you feel like the prep was on so much more than usual?
Man, to be honest, the build up and all the trash talk that he was doing, and like after the first fight, there was a lot of disrespect and there was a lot of trash talk, and it went really far on the social media where I had to delete like messages and stuff like that, and pictures and posts, because people were going back and forth, and it got to a place where they went after the sisters and the daughters, and,
Wow.
and yo, like this is way too far. And yeah, but I took the pictures out, and then I tried to talk to him a couple of times, and I'm like, yo, talk to your people, just let them calm down a little bit. Like there's no need for this. Me and you are gonna fight, and
regardless, it's gonna happen.
So there is no need for disrespecting families and people like that. And but the trash talk kept going on, and he started talking more, and he just got under my skin.
But man, how must that feel, bro? Because look, if you're gonna trash talk like that, you gotta win, dude. There's no. I mean, what comes after that? Excuses, right? That's the only thing that you can bring after
that's
that.
exactly what he's fucking doing right
Yeah.
now. All the excuses were oh yeah, there was a thumb in the eye. He's saying that I when I was punching, I was hooking him and my thumb was out and I poked him in the eye. I'm like,
Well, that's not gonna knock you out, is it?
yeah. And he's saying there's a lot of hits behind the head as well. And he's saying he was ready to fight whoever. But because of that punch and my finger went in his eye, he got really tired. And
I mean, to be honest, I've been poked in the eye before and it wakes me up. It doesn't make me more tired, bro. Do you know what I mean? But look, he had his moment. Let's give credit where it's due. He had his moment. He didn't capitalize on it. I mean, there was one or two moments in the beginning.
There was one big moment.
Yeah.
Oh, actually two.
Yeah.
Two. There was over right hand where he dropped me, and I was stunned.
Yeah.
I was stunned for a second, and then there was a body shot where, I was like, "Whoa, motherfucker!" I couldn't believe I got hit with that because I catch everybody with it at the gym, and then for that to happen to me in the fight, I was like, "Shit."
So what goes through your head during those moments when you do get stunned a little and you're like, ah, shit? Like, is there time to analyze, or is it kind of like?
Actually, all I think about, all that flashes in my head is my kids, man.
Yeah.
It's my kids. I do this for them, and like before every fight, all I think about, or all I could see is just vision them right there watching me fight, and what their reaction would be like, whether I win or lose or whatever the decision might be. But yeah, man, they're my biggest motivation. And yeah, when I got dropped in that fight in the first round, the first thing I saw was my son.
Wow.
Yeah. The second I got dropped and I was trying to open my eyes, and it was just like my son's picture flashed in my, like, right in front of me, and I'm like, whew, what was that? And then I look up again, and he's right there trying to finish me off. And then I started a little bit head wound when I was on the ground, and then I worked my way up. And then when he got me with that body shot, that body shot was good.
But I think, I mean, you broke his nose in that fight, right?
Yeah,
and I think that was what made the difference, because obviously once a nose is broken, the blood starts going into the lungs. It's harder to, do you know what I mean? So I think that initially kind of just slowed everything down for him.
It had to affect him in a way and slow him down, of course.
Yeah.
But I also felt like he was, after I took the body shot and he tried to throw a couple of elbows and a couple of knees, and I was still standing, and I came back and threw my shots. And I think there's one shot where that broke his nose. I could see in his eyes he changed. He was like,
yeah. I mean, it gains respect, right? When it's like an instant.
Yeah. He had like no respect, going all out trying to finish me.
And then, hold on a minute.
Yeah, and he's like, wait, this guy's still right here, man. He's still fighting. Right there was the turning point of the fight. And I could see in his eyes he wasn't the same guy when he first walked in.
And I mean, are you interested in a trilogy fight? Is that something that you're interested in general?
I wouldn't mind. If it is to happen, I wouldn't mind. I'll take it. Like I said before, I called out for a rematch after the no contest. And then if that fight is gonna happen again, I wouldn't mind. I'll take it again. It's easy money for me.
I remember at the end of the fight when you won and you ran over to his corner, and you were like, "Not today, my friends, not today,
not today."
And then Taher, his coach, decided to do a Khabib moment, right?
He tried to be. But in his case, he's trying to be Conor McGregor.
Yeah, exactly.
Where he hasn't fought in so long, and then now he's coming back and he's trying to call him out like for a title fight. And but
would you fight him?
I would. Fuck yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would. That one thing about me, I would never say no to a fight. I don't care who it is. I'll just fight. I was born for this shit. I've never said no to a fight. Never turned down a fight.
Yeah.
This is just me. They call me and they tell me this is the name you're gonna fight. I say, all right, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah, that's kind of like Bam as well. I remember talking to Bam Bam, and he was like, I was drunk on the floor in a hotel room when they told me about the Lewis fight, and I was like, well, all right, whatever. And then he woke up the next day and he saw it, and he was like, oh shit, I'm fighting Derek Lewis. I didn't even know. Like, he just accepted the fight. Like,
Yeah, but man, that's the thing. If you're in the game, if you're in this game, you gotta fight everybody. Well, maybe at first, like if you're trying to build yourself up, you get to pick and choose. But I'm at a point where I'm like 37 years old. I don't have a lot of years to go. So why pick the fights? I love to fight. So just whoever they throw right in front of me, I'll fight.
And how important to you is the welcome that you got when you got back to Lebanon after? Because that was they took over the airport, right?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. All my friends, all my family were there, and they left me speechless. And I love these people to death, man. This is another reason why I do this.
Just to rep Lebanon.
Yeah, no doubt.
And do it.
And,
so
and everybody that's there.
Yeah.
It's the situation right now there is it's really bad, and
it's not ideal.
To put a smile on those these faces, it means a lot to me.
To give them something to look forward to.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
No doubt.
Yeah, especially in the situation. The situation there is messed up, and we'll get into that now. But since we're talking about Lebanon, let's take it back to a young Mo in Lebanon and find out how you were as a kid. I mean, apart from you're not really supposed to be here now,
No,
because you've almost died like 13 times growing up.
at least.
Yeah, let's talk about a couple of
Well, the
things.
first time where I was about a year and a half, and my mom was feeding me chicken, and you know the chicken leg. There's like that little white bone on the top. And I swallowed that, and it got stuck in my throat, and they had to rush me to the hospital. I barely made it there. I was dead when I got to the hospital.
Wow.
And then they brought me back, and then there was another time when I was like seven and a half. Me and my mom were visiting one of my aunties, and she had a whole paper full of what do you call it? Antibiotics sitting on the table, and my dumb ass thought it was candy, right? So me and my cousin, we took the whole paper and we sat on the table. We decided to split it. So she took the first one, but she bit it. So she felt that bitter taste, right? Yeah. She spit it out, but she didn't tell me. My dumb ass, and so I was just swallowing everything. I was like, I'm gonna eat the whole fucking thing. Like before she comes back and tell me, she asked for another one. And there was another time where I barely got to the hospital. By the time I got to the hospital, I was turning blue and red. Yeah, and man, this is just two incidents. I when I was 18, I got in a motorcycle accident, and that was bad. I actually broke my skull from 2 different places.
Wow.
And I dislocated one in my shoulder. I dislocated both of my wrists. And a friend of mine that was riding with me passed away in that accident. Wow. Thank you, man. Yeah, that's till today. It still haunts me till today. And that
difficult situations, right?
Yeah. That was bad.
That was at 18 years old.
18.
I think that's a difficult time to lose a friend as well, because that's the time where you guys kind of...
Yeah, we were like really tight. We were brothers. We grew up together, and that happened. And because I was driving, it just made it a bit worse than maybe it might have been.
Yeah. No, I totally understand that. I mean, I've lost friends on motorbikes before. In one night, 3 of my friends I lost on a motorbike. You know, you do those, I don't know if they do them in Arab countries. No, but you do these where loads of motorbikes go from one place to another. Yeah, they do that. I think it's a bit safer in London than it is in Lebanon.
Most likely, people drive like crazy there.
Yeah. So how does something like that change you as a person? Because you moved from Lebanon then, right? Was that the main reason that you moved, to kind of get away from?
It was one of the reasons why we wanted to move out. But the main reason why my family was trying to relocate, and we ended up going to the States. And the first couple of years in the States was really hard. It was shit.
Yeah.
I was always crying. I was 19, man, but I was always crying. I always wanted to go home. I miss my family back home. I miss my friends, and just being in the neighborhood, it was just different.
Where did you move to in the States?
San Diego, California. San Diego is beautiful.
Yeah,
man.
it's not bad.
San
I mean,
Diego
it's
is
not a bad.
beautiful. Yeah,
If there's anywhere in America that's similar-ish to Lebanon, it would be.
Yeah, but
California.
no, the weather is nice there. It's beautiful. But at that time I didn't have a car. I didn't know how to drive. I was just home most of the time, and I was just working back and forth. And yeah, the first couple of years was really hard, and then I think 2009, 2010, the economy crashed, and I ended up being jobless. And by that time, I started taking my little brothers to a boxing gym, and I would just drop them off, wait for them, and then pick them up and leave. And then at that time, the coach asked me if I wanted to try boxing. I was 26. I was like, yo, man, I might be a little bit too old for this shit. And he's like, hey, you're never too old. Why don't you give it a try? I was like, all right. I started training 2 weeks after. I wanted to fight. I was like,
Wow.
put me
Ready
in a
to go,
boxing fight. Yeah, and he kept telling me, just take your time, take your time. I was like, no, I'm ready. 2 weeks, I think, after I had
2
my
weeks is enough.
yeah, I was like, fuck, I'm getting everybody at the gym. Yeah, he put me in a fight, and I got my ass whooped.
Wow.
Yeah, it was so
It's
bad.
'cause it's different boxing, huh?
Yeah.
Like MMA,
I
at
thought I
least,
was on the street,
worst case
bro.
scenario, when something's happening, you can be like, I'm gonna double leg this
Yeah,
guy,
but
take down.
that's
you know?
the thing. Like,
Boxing has IQ in it.
I've always been a brawler. Like, even
Yeah.
on the street, I used to get in a lot of fights, and I never thought about like taking anybody down. It was just me knocking the guy out, or the guy knocking me out.
Yeah.
And yeah, we started going to that gym, and the first fight I got beat up so bad I stopped.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, all right, fuck it.
I'm not
I
doing
just
this.
got my ass handed to me, man. I'm not doing this shit. And he called me, told me we should start trying to ride and do it the right way. We started training again for 6 months, and then when I came back, he's like, all right, I think you're ready to fight. Let's do it. My second amateur fight was a 5-second knockout. I think it's on YouTube, but you can find that.
Nice. We need to find that video.
Yeah, and I fell in love with the sport. I started doing. I did 18 amateur boxing bouts in the States. I have 16 wins and 2 losses, and I have 14 amateur MMA bouts as well.
Okay.
And
Well, what makes you switch from boxing to MMA?
well, the thing is, I did not know what MMA is. And one of the guys at the gym used to do jiu-jitsu, and he told me, hey, you want to do an MMA fight? And I'm like, what is MMA?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, you want to give it a try? I was like, yeah, all right, cool. So my first MMA fight, I didn't know anything but how to throw a punch, because that was basically my reaction to everything. And I won by a knockout, surprisingly.
Wow.
And then after that, I lost my second fight, and I said, hey, if I'm gonna start doing it, I better start doing it right. So I started doing a little bit of jiu-jitsu and a little bit of wrestling, and it went on.
Yeah, because it's a bit different when you're punching someone and all of a sudden someone kicks you and you're like, hold on a minute. Where did that come from?
That's illegal.
Yeah,
man.
what's going on here?
Yeah.
So did you find the love for MMA very quickly, or was it a slow process for you?
Man, I still love boxing till today.
Really?
Yeah, more than MMA. If I can switch to boxing right now and make a career out of it, I would.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
I just love boxing, man. It's just sweet science, bro. Like,
The IQ is a lot higher.
The IQ is a lot different. The stance, the reflexes, everything. You don't have to worry about people taking you down. It's just about 2 men standing in front of each other.
It's a
and
lot
just
to think about MMA, man.
Yeah. You have to worry about the kicks. You have to worry about the takedowns.
The
You have
takedowns,
to
the
worry
elbows,
There's a lot of shit that you don't need to think about. How about we stand face to face and we trade punches? This is what I love to do, and this is why I've always loved boxing more than MMA.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely. I would say it's easier, but
No.
no, I mean easier on. It's easier mentally? I mean, you
Yeah.
need to learn a lot, obviously.
Even mentally,
but
it's
I
not
mean,
easier. It's
having
harder
having
'cause-
to worry about these things. I mean, there's only, you know, a set number of hits that you have to worry about in boxing. Okay, you have to worry if the guy knows how to put them together very well. Yes, but I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot more going on in MMA.
and you can't get a
Going
and
on.
you can't clinch the guy and take him down if you're rocked. You're just gonna
Yeah,
have to
so,
stand
yeah.
there and take it, bro.
Yeah, it's interesting. Who would you say is your favorite boxer? Ali?
Ali, without a doubt,
From in all time.
old time.
Why? I find that very interesting because for me, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Muhammad Ali. But Muhammad Ali was a bit too much before my time for me to fully appreciate the...
But you can still watch his fights.
yeah,
and
I still watch his
appreciate
fights,
they
but
did
there's a difference between watching a rerun of a very old Ali fight and being there waiting for a Canelo fight that's coming in a week. And
okay, the
do
feeling
you know what I
is
mean?
different.
The feeling.
But when once you start understanding boxing,
Yeah.
and then you get to appreciate Ali's fights. He was very smart. He's very intelligent.
Very smart, but there is a lot. I mean, for me, Manny is one of my favorite fighters.
Pacquiao.
Pacquiao is
Pacquiao is definitely one of the
amazing,
best boxers in the world.
for me.
But
And I resonate more because
Pacquiao got the speed. Pacquiao is got the speed. He's smart, but he's not like Ali, man. Nobody's like Ali.
yeah, I guess you could say that. But
Nobody's like Ali.
then Pacquiao was also, I mean, look, Pacquiao is one of my. I mean, we can go into the Roy Jones, and everyone has their own, different styles and stuff. But you could say that's like comparing a Pele to a Messi, where in Pele's day, out of every 11 players, 2 or 3 were wow.
Yeah, but at least
But
days
now-
everybody could punch, and especially
But that's
the
what I
heavyweight
mean. So
division,
for you to be
everybody
good,
was good
for you
boxer.
to be like Pacquiao in a day and time where everyone has the best training, everyone has that same chance that you do. There's a difference. I feel like Messi, like for you to be a Messi now when everyone is good, there's a difference.
Yeah.
For me,
Okay, I
not to
see.
take anything away from Ali. Ali, obviously, in and out of the ring, is a hero of many people in the world.
True.
Who would you say is the top 5 Arab fighters of all time? I mean, you don't have to talk about yourself, but
No.
who would you put in your
normally
list?
I don't count myself in a conversation like that. Look, man, there's a lot of good fighters, bro. There's a lot of good fighters.
I need your top 5. Stop being nice to people. Don't put friends in it. Don't put anything.
I'm not
First
gonna-
5 names that come into your mind now.
I would have to say Jarrah Sadawi for sure.
Okay. We'll talk about that fight, the loss, the win.
You got also another Jordanian fighter, Abdul Karim Silwadi. I think if he gets a shot in UFC, he can do good. You got Hashim Al-Khawa, he's very good. You got Tariq Stayman, Hamad Karaki. Another guy that hasn't fought in a while, but I think he will do really good. Rami Hamid.
Okay.
Rami Hamid is a fucking beast, man. Another guy, Ahmed Labban. It's hard to pick the top 5. That's the thing. All these guys are fucking savages. So it's hard to pick the first top 5. It's but yeah, man, all these names. Ghurabi is a fucking beast. Ghurabi used to fight everybody. He never said no to a fight. Who else? Muhammad Karaki, Yusuf Wahbi. Now the upcoming fighters, you got Asaidi. Asaidi is doing really good.
Beast. Yeah.
He is. You got my brother Hassan Fakhriddine. Hassan, he's a great boxer, man. This kid is he whips my ass now in sparring
Really?
sessions. Yeah, he kicks my ass all the time. And
How old is your brother now?
now he's 27.
So still young in the fighting
Yeah,
world.
he's still very young, but his experience is on a different level. His boxing is on a different level. I got another younger brother that boxes as well. Both of them are national champions in San Diego, California. Boxing national champions, and yeah. But Hassan, bro, his time and his IQ, his speed, everything about that kid he's special. He's something. He just needs to prove himself a little bit more if he gets opportunities. But that kid, I can see him in the UFC without a doubt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way forward, man. I also kind of think that, as you were talking, I think in boxing there's a lot more of that pick and choosing. So a lot of boxers can
There's a
have
lot
a
of that
whole
in
career
MMA as well.
but there's a lot of it in regards to that in MMA, but not as much. There
True.
isn't 25 federation of belts
True.
that you can just, oh no, I'm going to slip that one, I'm going to go pick this one, I'm going to go
I
pick that one.
agree.
MMA, there's only a handful of people in your institute that you can fight.
But you could still pick and choose who and when.
Do you feel like a lot of people are doing that?
Fuck yeah, bro.
Yeah?
A lot of people in the Middle East are fucking did that and still doing that till today.
Even in the UFC?
I don't know if in the UFC you gotta change, like you have the choice to, but if they could, they probably would.
Why did you choose Brave as your?
Well, the thing is, after Desert Force, there was only Brave, and Brave contacted me, and I signed with them. Simple as that. There was no UFC in the Middle East, and I don't think I was at that level yet at the time. And Brave approached me, and I signed with them.
What about the fight you were supposed to have at Desert Force with Monet?
I was supposed to fight him actually a couple of times. One time, I think he broke his rib, and the other time he re-injured his hand. I'm not really sure what happened, but yeah, a couple of times we were scheduled to fight and he pulled out.
Do you regret not having that fight? Is that a fight you would have wanted to have had?
I actually wouldn't say no. I would still fight that fight to like today, but no, I wish him luck. He's definitely one of the top 5 names that you were asking for, and I think he's doing really good, and I wish him all the luck. And I think his next fight he's definitely gonna win that fight. It's a perfect matchup for him.
Yeah. So, do you think there's any love lost between you and your last opponent? Is there something that you could see you guys talking in the future, or is it just gone too far gone?
No. We talk now sometimes.
Yeah.
I texted him a couple of times. I was supposed to go
After
down
the
his
fight.
Yes.
No, not Monet.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
No,
Monet.
I'm talking about your previous opponent. I'm not going to say his name.
Yeah. Well, actually, yes, I did text him to check on him after the fight because I heard he broke his nose and I heard his eye was severely injured, but alhamdulillah, it's not. So,
Any reply? You got a reply?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it does. I mean, because I bring that up because it's quite funny because I see you and Tara in the gym, and you guys are as close to brothers as I can see.
Yeah,
you guys used to be enemies, right? Let's talk about that because that's
I don't want to talk about that. I hate this fight. I hate this fight, and I hate talking about it. Tariq always.
No, I'm talking about Tariq Suleiman.
Yeah, I know. This
Let's
is what
talk about
I'm saying.
it.
I'm saying I hate talking about that fight.
Let's talk about it. There's no way. I know you both very well. There's no way I'm not going to talk about that because that's hilarious.
Why are you talking about it?
Look, Tariq, he's going to take a sip because he's about to go into it. I did. Even he was like, yeah, let's talk about it.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay, how was that?
Huh?
How was the conversation?
No, I haven't spoken to him about it. I was just like, look, I was like, I've got Fakhro on today. What should I make sure that I take? And he was like, yeah, let's talk about the beef back in the day, how we were enemies, but now we're brothers.
Well, yeah, the thing is, back in the days, Desert Force, we both were coming up, and we both lived in Lebanon, right? And
this is exclusive. Let's go.
Yeah, the thing is, his girlfriend made up a story that I spanked her ass at one of the clubs, but apparently I was never there because I never go clubbing in Lebanon. Okay. And then I heard that. Well, he told me after the fight that he was looking for me at the club, and he was like him and like 10 of his boys trying to beat my ass up. But I wasn't there. That night. I never existed for me.
Yeah.
And after I heard he called me out, and I said, okay, let's do it. Yeah. And then we were supposed to fly out to Jordan. The fight was supposed to happen in Jordan. We were supposed to fly out to Jordan. He did not want to go on the same flight with me because he said if I go on the same flight,
Yeah,
with
it's
Papa,
gonna be
we-
trouble.
Yeah,
You
we're
can't
gonna
do
fight.
that. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, we flew back on the same flight and we're sitting next to each other. Right. This is how we got to talk about the fight after the fight. And yeah, fight day on the scale, I made weight, but there was a lot of trash talk from his side because he was just talking, but I didn't know what was going on really till after the fight. And then at the weigh-ins, I got up really close to him, and he tried to headbutt me, and we started pushing each other, and then yeah.
And then that was
that's
the
it.
end of that. That's as much as you're getting from that story now.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
it.
and he was telling me that you guys almost died trying to cut to 77.
Fuck.
Let's talk about that because that will also kind of highlight weight cutting and the issues with weight cutting if it's done wrong. What happened there on that one?
Cutting 77 has always been an issue for me and him. I think he made 77 one time.
Yeah.
And then for me, the last 3 times it was hell. I would pass out in the sauna at least 2 times or 3 times. Every time I would try to make 77, they would have
So dangerous, dude.
Yeah, and then after my last fight where I got knocked out really bad, and I really thought it was because of the weight cut and the way I ended up cutting from 92 to 79. And because normally I used to cut down from 93 to 77, and that one time I don't know why my body shut down completely. I got down to 79, and then I stopped sweating.
79 is very light,
Yeah.
especially for someone your height as well and stuff. It's very light.
And the thing is, I don't look that big, but I'm heavy. Like even when I'm skinny,
Yeah.
I my weight is still there. I'm still
Yeah.
heavy. I think it's just my bone density or something. I don't know.
That's crazy because, I mean, it's crazy when things like that happen where you start off as enemies of someone because some of the best friendships in the world start off that way.
Yeah, there's a saying in Arabic, "ما في صاحب إلا من بعد قتله."
Exactly.
Like, there is no friend till after one of you guys get beat up.
Yeah, exactly, right? And I mean, you guys went on to be very good friends, to working together, to cornering each other
Yes.
in the fights. And funny thing is, I want to talk about Thailand. So I want to talk about Thailand in many ways. One of them, how important do you think Thailand has been to fighters in general? Because you get fighters from all over the world, in every division, in every different, entity, whether it be UFC, Brave, or whatever it is. A lot of them go to Thailand to get some training done, whether it be in Tiger, wherever it may be. But how important a role do you think Thailand's played in the fight game for mixed martial arts?
It definitely played a big role. Now the only thing I don't like about going there is if you don't have your own camp, you don't get the same attention. So if you're just a pro fighter and you go in there to do a camp and you don't know everybody, like everyone there, you're actually just doing the classes as if you're just a beginner doing a class. So they don't give you the right attention. That's the only thing that I don't like. But as far as when it comes to sparring and the rolling and all that, yeah, it plays a big role because you get all this experience from all these fighters from around the world, and it definitely benefited me a lot, and it elevated my game to a different level. Because before I used to go to Thailand, I was what 3-0, 4-0. I still didn't know shit about sugar.
Really?
Yeah, man. I was fighting because
It's because you knew how to fight.
Yeah, not because I knew how to fight.
Yeah.
It was just because I had heart and I wanted to fight, and that was it. And then started going to Thailand and started picking up on a lot of things from different people and different sparring partners and stuff like that. And yeah, that changed my game a lot.
Yeah. Let's talk about the I love having inside information. Let's talk about the war with the Chechens and the Russians in Thailand. Story time.
Bro.
So apparently you guys had a bit of a few wars going on, right?
There was couple incidents with Bam Bam, not Bam Bam, I'm sorry, Mark Hunt and the Chechens at the gym Tiger Muay Thai, where Tariq had to step in the middle and separate like fucking 40 people.
Yeah.
All of them had like knives and sticks and bats and shit. They were ready to kill each other, bro. Yeah, but that's another thing. The thing is, sparring with these guys is a fucking fight. Every time you're sparring a Russian or Shishan, you're not sparring, bro.
Yeah.
You better be ready, like biting on your mouthpiece and just going all out.
Yeah.
They don't know how to spar, and this is why a lot of fights happens at the gym, because they tell you like, let's go easy, and then you
get one hit in,
yeah,
and they're like, and that blood just
it's just a fight.
Yeah. So, any more stories about that? Any that you're hiding about any of that?
No? I think this is it.
Nothing about like houses getting burned and stuff like that.
No, but for now, I'm trying to work with my manager on getting to a different organization, hopefully.
Yeah.
Or trying to change the contract with Brave, especially now that we just achieved.
Yeah,
history.
because you've got a giant fight me on your head right now,
bro.
You must be getting, because once you're 2 champ, that's it. Everyone has something to prove, right?
Everybody's gonna want to fight me now. The middleweight division and the light heavyweight division. And the thing is, my crazy ass actually thinking about going down to 79
to get another belt
and get another belt and become the first guy that actually carries 3 belts at the same time.
79 is not far from 77, bro. You gotta be careful, bro.
That's the thing. Like, me getting down to 79 was always okay. Just when I reached 79, that's when I would die.
Yeah.
Yeah, like anything under 79, it was just a disaster. It was torture for me. So I think 79 will be just fine.
Yeah. So, why do you think? And I find this very crazy. Why is mixed martial arts the least paid for their athletes out of all the sports? I mean, you look at. I feel like mixed martial artists of all the sports around are the most individuals who are putting their self on the line physically and mentally the most out of all sports. And there's a lot of sports where there's teams and a lot of other people take the brunt of that kind of thing, but it's just you, and you can get really damaged for it. And I don't understand why all of these organizations are just not paying the fighters.
All the fighters are underpaid. Like, look at what fucking, what's his name, Paul Logan did. Fucking paid what? Tyron Woodley $500,000 for what?
Yeah. And why do you think that is? I mean, what needs to change? What's going on?
I don't know, man. All the fighters needs to stand up and talk about it. That's for sure. Everybody has to talk about it. I mean, I'm one of them. I got 2 belts, but I'm still not making $20,000 for a fight. So it's
I mean, that's ridiculous to me.
it is.
And don't forget as well that out of that not $20,000, how much you're paying yourself for camps, for nutrition, for
my camp was at least half of the money.
That's just crazy to me.
My show up money was gone before I even got paid.
That's crazy. I mean, this is where the Lebanese side of me comes out and goes, don't worry, I can get you a camp for cheaper, bro. I just put a little margin on the top of it. How much did you pay? 10K? I can get it for 7, no problem, bro.
7.5, bro.
You just have Aboud and all my friends just there. We're like, we're your sparring partners, bro. Let's do it, bro. We're willing to get messed up just for a couple of thousand. But that just fascinates me about mixed martial arts. I mean, you get boxers who are amateurs, and they're getting paid. I don't
know about amateur boxing getting paid.
When I say amateur, I mean just getting into the professionals.
Well, no, actually, in boxing, like when you first turn pro, because I know, because a couple of my friends turned pro when I was back in the States, and they were getting paid like $1,000 per fight for the first maybe 8 fights, and then after that they start making a little bit more. But I think like when he fought for the WBC Latin, he had about 15 fights. He got $10,000 for that fight.
It's just crazy. I mean, you get that, and then there's somebody kicking a ball.
It's the same thing, man. Millions. It's all the same thing. Like even MMA, look at the big names. They making a lot of money. It's the same thing in boxing. If you got the right manager and the right promoting, and you got the right people promoting you, and and pushing you the right way, you get to make money. But if you're working by yourself, you're not making any money. Yeah.
So did anything change after having children when it came to fighting for you? Did any of your mentality change? Because since I've had kids, I'm like, I start to look at the dumb shit I do, and I'm like, okay, I could die doing this, so I'm gonna maybe not do it today, or I'm gonna do it a bit less.
Not in that case.
I mean, the shit I want to do are stupid. I want to skydive without a parachute, and then someone catch me in the air and then clip me onto their one and stuff like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that, man. I don't know. You're crazy ass. Yeah. I wouldn't do that. No, but it actually made me think like just a little bit differently about approaching my career, because before my kids, I didn't really take my career very seriously. I was I would train 3-4 weeks before the fight, and that was it. But now I'm actually doing proper camps where I'm like taking 8 weeks out and 12 weeks out. Like for example, my last fight was almost a 12-week camp, and the fight before as well for the middleweight championship as well was that camp was the longest camp. I think I had 4 months camp, and that this just changed my mentality when it comes to training and pushing myself the right way. Where before I was like, I didn't have responsibilities. I didn't have to put food on the table. I didn't have to do any of that. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go have fun and fight, and it doesn't matter win or lose. Before I didn't think about like I wanted to make a legacy for myself, and I wanted to do something. I was just fighting because I wanted to fight and because I enjoyed it. That was it. But now, because I got kids, it's just like somebody got to put food on the table and keep roof over their heads, and it makes you it motivates you to push harder in training and stay focused and do what you need to do so you can get where you need to get.
And how do you look forward in that? Because again, you do reach a certain age, your body goes through a beating, you can't recover the way that you used to.
Sure.
So eventually you're going to have to be like, okay, I can't fight anymore. What do I do now? Have you already started to assemble your go-to plan for after fighting? Or?
I think I have a couple ideas that I'm working on. One of them is gym, definitely. I want to I love this game. I don't think I can walk away even after I retire. I need to stay around the game, so I'm definitely gonna open my own gym and start building up fighters and stuff like that. And another thing that I'm gonna work on, opening a restaurant.
Okay.
I wouldn't do that.
Typical Lebanese.
I love food,
right?
Man. I love food, man. Who doesn't love food?
What do you do all your life? I fought everyone. Anyone who came in my way. What do you want to do now?
Eat.
I want to make falafel.
Now I'm going to fucking eat, man. Yeah. I'm going to enjoy myself. I love food. And now I'm not being able to eat the way I want to eat and what I want to eat, bro, because I'm always worried about my weight and where when is my next fight and when they call me and what am I going to be fighting at, which weight class and stuff like that. And especially now because I'm going down to 79. It's not going to be easy.
So is that what you're planning now? Can we put it out there? Are you going to be going down to 79 to do the third belt? Or
I'm going to defend the middleweight belt and then drop down to 79.
Do you have to defend the belt first?
I'm going to talk to Brave. If they give me a 79, if they give me the super welterweight right away, I'm going to go for it. If not, I'm going to defend the belt first. I want to defend the belt. I don't want to stay champion for too long without defending it. You know, I want to defend the belt so people won't
excuses.
Say I won't give excuses to nobody where like, he's just jumping from one weight class to another collecting belts. Yeah. No, I'm going to defend my belt and then move down and collect another belt.
Yeah. How many years do you think you got left fighting? If everything goes well, your body's agreeing with you and recovering well.
Bro, that's the thing. I might be 37, but my fight age, I'm still young. I only started 10 years ago. So I still haven't took that much damage, even though like I'm full of injuries. Yeah, but I still work my way around it, and I still feel like I have at least 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
That's quite a long time.
Yeah, maybe 45.
Yeah. Wow. Just to think, 45, getting into a ring, and then you have all these young, hungry 20-year-olds who are just like Duracell batteries, and you're like, calm down, okay, I'm a legend, slow down, okay, stand right there, and we'll fight this out.
I think experience will play a big factor.
Yeah, a big role.
Yeah.
And what's your views on MMA in the Arab world in general? Do you think, I mean, because obviously he's very young, right?
Who?
MMA in general in the Arab world. Do you see it growing to a stage where it can be up there with the Bellators and with the UFCs and with that stuff?
Of course. You got Brave, you got UAE Warriors. I think those two companies those two organizations are gonna go big and go and compete with Bellator and ONE and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess it's difficult because it's kind of like football, right? So you grow your players, and then a big team comes, like UFC, and says, "Okay, I'm going to take your player now." And then it kind of takes those views away, and then you grow some more, and then it's lucrative for them to sell on their
but the
fighters,
thing is,
right?
the company that's selling, they still making a lot of money, and that's again off of our backs. People that's like stepping in the cage and put on a show and making the organization bigger, and at the end of the day, what happens?
Yeah, it's true. If they reinvest it right, because if they continue, I mean, I don't know how long this is going to keep going for, but I think eventually they're going to have to up the money that they're giving to the fighters, because fighters are going to start going, well, look.
Definitely, fighters are starting to talk about it, and they're speaking up about it. It's just because now in boxing, like, it's not just in boxing, dude. Like the things that Joe Logan doing and his brother
Logan Paul
and his brother, they're not even boxers, man.
Yeah.
They're making a shitload of money.
Yeah.
And now fighters are like, what the fuck is going on? If
This is the problem,
idiots
man.
are making money,
Exactly.
why not us?
Why not? And I mean, you can only see it, like Tyson Fury said, this is going to be his last fight. You might see me fighting against Ngannou in a fight. Do you know what I mean? And again, so they'll cross that over and make the real money, where Ngannou will make more money out of that Tyson Fury fight than he probably would have made in his whole UFC career. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's gonna be crazy, but I think Ngannou going to boxing is gonna be a mistake.
Look, there's mistakes, and there's I'm gonna have one fight and make 200 million. So
if he's going there for the money, it's definitely good.
Let it be a mistake. I mean, to be honest, I'll fight for 100 dirhams right
but
now.
If he's actually thinking about crossing into boxing world and
I don't think he is,
Fury.
but I think he'll definitely take the fight for the money. I mean,
yeah,
and for the legacy. I mean, it's going to be a huge event, right?
I would fight Tyson Fury.
Yeah, for sure.
Just
for the fun of it. I'd fight him just to hear what he's going to say in the press conference before, bro. To be honest,
the guy is funny as shit.
Yeah, but we should be getting him on soon after this fight. But yeah, you look at fighters like Brendan. You know Brendan, who comes to the gym. I mean, he turned down the UFC for a PFL contract because he would make more
in
PFL than he would.
Sure.
And I guess
just
fighters
like
have to. Yeah,
Jarrah did the same thing as well. He turned out. From what I heard, he had a UFC contract and PFL contract, and he picked the PFL contract.
Because look, you have to remember, fighters are like, well, they also thinking, well, I've only got 5 fights left or 10 fights left in me. Like, I need to.
Maybe sometimes not even. You got plans for 2-3 years of fighting, and then
and the UFC
injury it sits you, and you're out.
And also, the UFC is a very big company. Like, I've heard. Like when I was talking to Bam, he was like, most people only get 3 fights, and if they don't win, that's it. You're gone, mate.
That's it.
Yeah, like they'll finish your contract. Like you're not doing well for us. So imagine.
Yeah, well,
everything changes, you know.
Brave kind of did the same thing with me when I lost 2 fights in Brave. They had me sit on the sideline for what, a year and a half till I fought in cage. I mean, till I fought in UAE Warriors, and I got a knockout, and then they brought me back in.
Yeah, it's crazy. It just kind of makes you feel like, look, do you care about me or not? What's going on here?
Not really.
It's just business for them, huh?
Exactly. That's the thing for all the MMA organizations. It's just about business, man. They don't. They show us they care about us, but really they don't really care about us. All they care about is the money that we're gonna bring into the company, and that's it.
So how do you get over a loss? I mean, I don't think people understand how much, out of the fight world, how much physically and mentally that can weigh on a person, especially if it's your job, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, we went to watch our friend Tariq recently, and I felt horrible, like for 3-4 days after that fight. And it
Imagine
wasn't
what
even
he
me. Yeah,
felt.
that's what I'm gonna say. So it wasn't even me. Imagine after all of the training and you know, something just might not go right that night. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, to be honest,
you don't always show up 100%.
how he made it
Sometimes you don't show up
till
that
the
fight.
end, that was hot. That he showed, that was incredible, bro. Because like he should have been. If the guy, I would say if the guy knew what he was doing, but the guy was doing everything. But Tarek was just still staying around, and there was no getting rid of him.
Yeah, he's
Do you know
tough.
what I
He's
mean?
tough. He's very tough.
Yeah. But how that must affect somebody who's a fighter, I don't think people realize. How do you get over something like that when?
Man,
Because obviously no one goes in expecting to lose, right?
Yeah, nobody walks into a fight thinking about, oh yeah, I'm gonna lose, or what happens if I lose. We all walk in there because we're thinking, oh yeah, I got this. I'm gonna get the win at the end of the night, and that's it. For me, man, it takes a lot out of me. I'm normally pissed for like a couple of months. And I stopped training completely, and all I do is just fucking eat.
Really?
After a loss, I go up and weigh at least 25 kilos.
Wow.
After a fight, until I get another call, and then I just switch my mood and I'm like, all right, I gotta make up for the past fight, and I have to win this fight.
Have you ever had a situation where you're like, oh, fuck this, it's not for me, man. I'm done with this.
I actually had that moment in my career, 2018. I fought 3-4 fights in the same year, and I got tired of fighting. I just felt like my body was not feeling the same anymore, and even like I wasn't that hungry. Where I would walk into a fight, just like, all right, I'm just gonna walk in there and see what happens and get out. I wasn't hungry to fight and get a win. I think that was a little bit of turning point in my career, and that set me back like a lot. It was 2 fights versus Thailand B, and another fight was versus Gatsi Musa. Those fights I should have never fought them because I was injured. Against Gatsi Musa, I had two torn adductors.
Wow.
Both sides, they were torn, and I could barely train. I barely trained for that fight.
And what made you fight? The fact that you needed the money?
Yeah, it's just the fact that I needed the money. Even with Hadby, that the second fight, when I lost as well, I just needed the money. I walked into that fight with a broken foot, and I messed up my neck in sparring against one of the Russians. He threw me with an Uchimata and landed. We both landed on my neck. I was like this for like 3 weeks before the fight, and then I still walked in there, and I made Raider walked in there, and I got my ass beat up, just because I needed the money. And at that point, I was like, all right, fuck it. My body is not the same, and I don't even know if I want to do this for that long or not. I was tired of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
till Brave sat my ass on the side for a year, and then I was like, fuck, I miss it. I want to fight again. I really missed it. That year they put me on the sideline, I was itching for a fight, where I even got in a fight at UAE Warriors with the security.
Really? Just looking for any reason,
I was fighting everybody at the event, all the security guards. And after that night, UAE Warriors, they called me to the office, and they're like, you want to fight? We'll give you a fight. I was like, fuck yeah. That time they gave me one of the ex-UFC fighters. I forgot his name. He got injured, and then I ended up fighting Dan Vinny that night. I ended up winning by body shot. Stopped him in the first round. But yeah, bro, that year was a turning point, and I don't know what happened to me. I think I just didn't like it as much. I just lost the love for the sport for a little bit. But then after that year, after sitting on the sideline and watching everybody fighting, I was like, fuck, I really missed it. And coming back and getting that win, and then I got called I think a month after to fight again in Brave, and I was supposed to fight Akram Elskarov, and he got injured, and then I ended up fighting Christopher Silva. I broke his leg in that fight from calf kicks, and what they called me again 40 days after, I think, or less, for the open weight tournament. The open weight tournament was a different story, man. I won the first fight. The second fight, walking into the second fight, I had a broken fist,
Wow.
a broken foot, and a torn ACL and MCL.
And still just went.
And I just went in there. The price was too good.
Mm.
It was $100,000 if I would have won the second fight.
Wow.
Where in the first fight, you would only win $5,000.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Just these numbers are. But one question I wanted to ask is, how are you able to? What's your contract like, where you're able to jump from one organization to another while you're still fighting for one? Because
No, well, at the time, Brave terminated my contract. They
Okay.
just cut me out completely, and they wouldn't even answer my calls or anything. So, but I don't know if it was just a problem with the matchmaker himself or the organization itself. But yeah, they just completely shut me out.
they're answering your calls now, man.
Oh well, now I'm the double champion.
Yeah, exactly. So how does it work now in your contract? If you wanted to go to UAE Warriors now and fight there, would Brave allow you to do it or no?
They probably would, but it would have to be just one fight.
And what do they benefit from letting one of their fighters go to another?
I'm not sure, but like look at Yusuf Ghaddadi. He signed up with Brave. He fought in UAE Wars a couple of times, and there's a couple of other guys. I think Casey was signed with Brave, and after UFC, and he fought UAE Wars. Azedine Derbani is the same thing. No, not as. I'm sorry. There was a couple other guys that fought in UAE Warriors that are signed with Brave. So I don't think Brave got a problem with that. They would normally let you have that one fight outside it, like the contract. So they have that in the contract.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's interesting, because I know UFC would never let that happen.
of course not. Of course not.
Never let someone go and fight in another tournament and then come back. Because what happens if you go to a UFC Warriors fight, you get
Knocked out.
don't listen to this, Brave, because I don't want to. You get not just you get knocked out, you get injured, you get your leg broken or whatever, and then they can't have
It's very possible.
any fights with your belts that are going on. So
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I'm not sure if they would let champions do that,
Yeah.
but I know they did let fighters do that
Yeah.
before.
So how important are those belts to you now, and what do they mean to you? Because I mean, if it was me, I'd be walking around I'd be answering the door to the delivery driver with both my belts on, just be like, "Oh, thanks, mate." Cheers. I'd be wearing them everywhere, bro.
To be honest, after winning the first one, I just put it in a bag and I put it in the closet.
Really?
Yes. My goal was to get the second one, so I didn't want to think about having the first one from first
Really?
place. I just put it on the side as if I didn't have it at all, and I wanted to go for the second one. But even now, it's people. They're like, "Where's your belts?" I'm like, "Bro, they're in my closet."
Wow. Nah, I'll be wearing them everywhere. I don't care.
I should. I don't know why I would hide them.
Like, even if I'm walking around naked just to go to piss in the toilet at night, I just have both my belts on. I just be like,
I should be walking around with them belts. I'm proud of what I achieved in my career and where I've gone, especially that I've did almost everything on my own.
Mhm.
Most of my camps, I run my own camps. I run my own nutrition. Just recently, I started working with a strength and conditioning coach. But before, I would run my own programs with everything that I do for the past 8-9 fights. So
Would you let your son fight?
fuck yeah,
Really?
fuck yeah. That fucker really throws a lot of bombs, man.
Yeah, I know, but it's the same thing. Even with my twins, like, I can just see they learn very quickly and they're so good at all of that stuff. I even do like jiu-jitsu with them at home and stuff. But I just feel like if I just saw one kid punch them the wrong way, bro, I'd jump in the ring and slap the shit out of that kid.
No.
Bro. Just so protective over them, but it's just
Yeah,
like,
of course.
you don't want to
You
see
gotta
them
be
getting hurt, right?
But at the same time, you want to see him manning up and standing up for himself. You don't want to see him on the street getting bullied and
Yeah,
getting
for
beat
sure.
up on the street. So you got to teach him how to fight at least.
Yeah.
And later on, if he decides he wants to fight, I'll be one of his first supporters. I would love to train him and get him.
Corner him and stuff.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, that'll be actually quite sick.
Yeah.
So what would be your advice to young fighters wanting to get in the game, both for normally and also for fighters, young Lebanese fighters that look up to you as well?
Man, just young fighters that's coming up. No bullshit, no attitude, man. All everything that you see on TV is just on TV. Put that bullshit aside, train hard, and focus on training, and all the nonsense that you hear before the fight, the trash talks and all that. That's only for the show. Sometimes you can really hate a guy, but you don't let that affect you in a bad way, where it's gonna put you outside of your game and take you different places. Just always focus on your training, and bro, the fight is gonna happen anyways, right? So why let that come into your head and take a lot of energy out that you don't need to be spending on things like that?
Yeah.
And just push your training, man, and stay healthy out there. Stay away from drugs, man.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
Stay away from drugs during camp.
You can drink. I'm just kidding, man.
Bro, I noticed when you were listing the top 5 Arab fighters of all time, you didn't mention my name. You want to lose one of those belts or what, bro?
I thought we already talked about this, man. My face is like bruised up and shit. We already had that sparring
Yeah, we
session.
had a little session, bro.
Yeah.
I was gonna say what I told you before, like those gloves. All of my boys who are fighters, they've all given me gloves during their fights. So I literally have the DNA to make a one monster fighter. Like, I'm gonna get in the lab and just take DNA from each one of your gloves, and just I'm not sure how much of Bam's DNA I'm gonna take, because I don't want him to drink too much, bro. So
Don't take a lot of
bit.
not out of Bam Bam.
Just a little bit.
It's gonna come out with a shoe,
exactly, right? Dude, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you with me, man.
Thank you for having me, bro.
And we'll get you back on again with the 3rd belt.
For sure, without a doubt.
And I kind of want you to have that trilogy fight, just so my wife can hit me and if I can't scream and shout.
I don't want to be the reason why you died, bro.
Yeah, right.
At least if you're gonna watch the fight, just watch in the bathroom.
Exactly.
And make sure you lock the door.
Exactly. Bro, thanks so much for your insight and for taking out the time to come out here.
Yeah, of
and
course, man. It's
we'll
been
get
a
you again
pleasure.
soon. And we'll get it done, man.
For sure. Thank you very much.
Guys, I've been AJ. He's been Mo. Don't let him fakhr you up. And we'll see you next time. Boom.